Hello, welcome to a new episode on our podcast. And today, second episode, we are going to deep dive into real estate with Pankaj Lokwani of Capitale. Hey, Pankaj, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So it's been some time for our first episode, and today we're going to dig down a little bit towards what's most interesting for our listeners, which is where to invest and what to invest in. So we're going to start, with one of the biggest questions maybe that an investor of real estate is looking for. What kind of property you should look for? Everyone sells apartments. Everyone sells townhouses. So what is the best option, you think, Pankaj?
What kind of property an investor should look for? To be honest, according to my experience, the best performing properties are always townhouses and villas. In last 15 years, whatever the townhouses and villas which has been launched, I've seen their performance in terms of their appreciation. It's way higher than any apartment can give it to you.
Can you explain why?
If you ask me why, so, when you buy an apartment, you own a piece of a property in a building. But when you buy a townhouse or a villa, you own a land. Let's be honest, on a land, you can make a building, but you cannot make a land. And when you own a piece of land, that becomes the goal in coming time. And we all have learned in our life, buy lands, and anything built on land like townhouses or villas, it is a piece of land. So that's the demand.
All right. So and you think it will be able to shift like anytime? Like I can, if I'm buying a townhouse which is a part of 10, 15 houses in the same area, can I able to build something different on this land?
No, so if you're going for a master community, it's a community living, then you have to follow the structure what has been given. You cannot change any exterior of any of the townhouses or villas. Unless you're buying a land and developing your own villas, that's where you can play around.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about rental yields, which a lot of people are considering, buying a townhouse or a villa to rent them eventually. So what are the yields we're talking about? What is the difference between, let's say, apartments and townhouses?
If you talk about rental yields in apartment and townhouses are honestly very similar. It's not about rental yields, it's about appreciation. So when you buy a property when it is under construction and when you rent it out today, you are getting between 10 to 11% of rental return if you bought it when it was under construction and you are renting it now. Whether it's a townhouse or villa, whether it's an apartment, the rental yields will be somewhere similar. It will be more of a difference in the appreciation where the townhouses and villa will be more than double or thrice the prices as well. But apartments might go 40-50% as an appreciation.
And everyone also saying that apartments are easier to rent rather than townhouses because they are smaller and there is more demand for 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom rather than 3 or 4 or 5 bedrooms like some of the townhouses are. Do you think it's true?
See, in what happens when you own an apartment and we rent it out, your tenants are keep shifting. Your tenants are keep moving every 2 years, 3 years. People coming new in Dubai, a new couple, a new employee working somewhere, they prefer an apartment, 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom apartment. The moment they start thinking about growing their family, they prefer having a townhouse. People are ready to go anywhere, any corner in Dubai to own a townhouse. Why? Because they get privacy, they get an open space, they have their own private garden area where the kids can play around. So yes, your apartments are easier to rent it out, but there is momentum going every 2 years, 3 years, whereas in a townhouse or villa, you get family who are well settled and they stays with you for a longer time.
Okay, so let's talk about one very important point that you mentioned, which is appreciation. Let's try to compare it. If I bought a townhouse in 2019 before COVID and an apartment on that area, which will appreciate more? What will be the percentage basically?
So if you ask about, let me give you an example. People bought Arabian Ranches 3. When Arabian Ranches 3 was launched in 2019, people bought townhouses in the range of 1.3, 1.2 million. And these townhouses are standing today somewhere around 3.2, 3.3 million. That's high growth they have seen in their property. Whereas the people who bought, I would say, in Mudon, they bought apartments in Mudon Views. They bought similar 1.2, 1.3 million an apartment. Today, that apartment is not more than 1.6, 1.7. So at the same time, you bought a townhouse or you bought an apartment. If you understand the same, both the properties as a rental point of view, both the rental point of view, the rental yield will be similar, because today the townhouse is also giving you a rental of 150,000, and that 2 bedroom in Mudon Views is also giving you around 120,000. So it is somewhere close to 10 to 11%. But appreciation wise, the townhouse appreciation, nobody can beat.
And do you think there is a specific budget, let's say when I'm buying an apartment rather than a townhouse, that you flip the answer, that it's the appreciation would be higher on apartment, or doesn't matter what price point?
Yes, there are some apartments, of course, that can also give you a higher capital appreciation if you are on the coastal areas, if you're in the seafront properties, if you're going with the limited inventory thing. Let's say, give an example, Royal Atlantis. When Royal Atlantis was launched, people bought 2 bedroom apartment for 9 million. And today that 2 bedroom apartment standing at 25 million. So yes, there is possibility of apartments having that high capital appreciation, but you need to go in limited edition. You cannot go where 600 or 1,000 apartments are there. That's where you don't get.
I see. And you are coming here with a lot of experience, with many years of experience in real estate. Have you ever worked with a client that chose wrong? Like, let's say he bought an apartment when he could have bought a townhouse and had a better capital appreciation. You remember one time like that?
Yes, I do remember. There was a client, actually she is still my client, where I was forcing her not to buy. She was buying an investment point of view. She bought a 2 bedroom apartment for somewhere around 4.2 million near downtown. And that 2 bedroom apartment today is standing not more than 6 million. At the same time, I was telling her to buy Sidra Villas. That Sidra Villas, 3 bedroom villas were coming around 3.5 million. And that 3.5 million today, she would have made 9 million. So that's a loss for her, but that was her choice because she wanted to be near downtown and she preferred an apartment.
So on that note, because it's very interesting to me, how much do you feel that the investors, the people who are just looking, they're not going to live in this apartment, they just want to buy it for an investment kind of plan, how much do you feel that there's psychological, let's say, aspects, like, as you said, they are more trusting on the apartment because it's similar to what they are looking for, or etc. How much is that affecting the investment they are looking for? So how much is not only a pure rational decision of this one can make me more money, but it's a complexity of other maybe properties that we're thinking about?
No, I would say it's more of an emotional segment people are coming up with. People coming from the places where they have seen apartments only. Even from India, there are some places where people only buy apartment and sell apartment. They do not believe in townhouses and villas. Whereas some of the countries, even Arabs, if you talk about, there are a lot of Asians, they believe in the Indians, some of the parts of India, Pakistan, they believe owning a land. Arabs prefer believing owning a land. So it's an emotional decision people make sometime, and on basis of that, they do not understand Dubai is working on a different segment. Today as well, if you look at it, Dubai has 30% of townhouses and villas, 70% is still apartments. So there's a huge deficiency in townhouses and villas. That's why any townhouse villas or villas community are launching and coming to handover, it's getting filled very fast.